All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the We Do Not
Care podcast.
Today, we're going to be talking about the NFL wildcard weekend. We got a couple good matchups, and we're just going to give our thoughts and opinions of what we think is going to happen in these games. So, to start it off, we got the Rams at Carolina.
I have the Rams winning, obviously. I mean, you're looking at a team that has the better quarterback. It's just a better team overall. The Rams should blow them out, but it's complicated because since the Panthers did beat the Rams earlier this year, that does give that team some type of confidence, and they know they can do it, and that's what might make them dangerous. But at the end of the day, it's different to play in the playoffs than it is to play in the regular season, and I just don't see Matthew Stafford fucking up. they're gonna, if I had to guess, at least a 2-touchdown score, 28-14. What about you?
This is going to be tricky because for me, Carolina is like the ultimate chaos team. Like, they can either play really good or they can play really bad. And I just think it's one of those things that if it gets Carolina like into the game, like in the beginning of the first quarter, they get a good rhythm going, I feel like the Rams are in trouble. But like you said, they got Matthew Stafford, they got Puka Nacua, they have a really good defense, and Devontae is coming back. I don't see the Rams losing this game. I'm rooting for Carolina, but I just don't see them losing this game.
You're rooting for Carolina. That's interesting. I am not. I'd rather have the better game deeper in the playoff, and it's not going to be with Carolina.
I don't disagree, but I feel like football is better when there's a bunch of small market teams like winning games. So I feel like the Panthers haven't gone to a playoff or won a playoff game since 2017. I think it'd be pretty cool to see them win one. So let's just hop into the next game. We got the Green Bay Packers going to the Chicago Bears. So honestly, I feel like this game could go either way. I feel like home field advantage is really real when it comes to Chicago. Their defense is one in takeaways, and Jordan Love can either play really good or really bad. So that's kind of like one of those things where you just don't know which Jordan Love you are gonna get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I got Chicago in this one, honestly. Interesting.
I'm gonna go Chicago. But it's because the Packers they're not doing too hot right now. They lost 3 of the last 4.
And Micah Parsons.
One of those games. Yeah, losing Micah Parsons, I think, has been morally has just gotten them down. I don't think they're confident anymore.
No.
And it's just crazy. For the first time ever, I think I'm gonna pick the Bears over the Packers since I've been a football fan. That is so crazy to me, especially in the playoffs. I would have never, ever picked the Bears over the Packers, but it's a new day, I guess.
Yeah, and Ben Johnson got them boys real riled up, but I guess the only good thing for the Packers is the fact that the Bears winning against the Packers just a couple of weeks ago was with Malik Willis at quarterback, so they will be getting Jordan Love playing this game. But hey man, those boys in Chicago can play. So let's go into the next game. We got the Buffalo Bills at Jacksonville facing off against the Jaguars. What do you think? Who do you got on this one?
Dude, I'm gonna have to go with the Jaguars. I want the Bills to win. I want Josh to take advantage of the fact that there's no Lamar, there's no Burrow, there's no Mahomes. The quarterbacks who could even be argued that are better than you are out. This is the 1 year. This is not gonna happen again, where all 3 of those quarterbacks are out. So if Josh wants to win one, it's this year. The problem is the Jaguars have won 8 straight right now. I believe in momentum.
Yeah.
This team is so hot right now, and they don't even have the number 1 pick. He's hurt, Travis Hunter. Dude, they are blazing hot right now. I think they could be the team that surprises everybody because nobody ever takes that franchise seriously. You know, outside of that 2 year window, with Saxonville, man. Moving forward, I think what we need is coaches just having silly interviews at the beginning. Duval, or like remember Campbell. We're gonna bite their kneecaps. We're gonna, dude. There's just something about the weird coaches that I guess. Hey man, they get their players. Yeah, they get the players to get it moving. I always love to go with the best quarterback, but when a team wins 8 straight, one of those being the Broncos, who's the number 1 team right now. I gotta go with them.
Yeah. It's weird because I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think, to me, I have to go Buffalo because it's exactly what you said. If it's not now, it's when. It's never gonna happen again. All the pressure is on Josh this year. All the pressure. If he doesn't deliver, then this is gonna be a waste of a season, honestly. Because not that we're expecting you to go all the way and win the Super Bowl, but you better go far. You better go farther than the AFC Championship because the kryptonite is not in the playoffs this time. And you have no excuses. I think Jacksonville is a hell of a team, but Buffalo, you got Josh Allen, which to me is the better quarterback. You obviously have the better running game with James Cook, who was the rushing leader this year, or second to Derek, I think. You have an amazing offensive line. I know your receivers are bad, but you have Dalton Kincaid. You just have a lot of offensive weapons that should get the job done, honestly. I don't think this is a game that you can afford to lose, so for that reason, I'm going to go Buffalo, but I was going to put money on this game, I think I would go Jacksonville, but I just can't go against a better quarterback who has something to prove.
The problem with Josh right now also is, if you don't win this year, when is your team going to get better? When you have an MVP candidate quarterback, or somebody who can be nominated year after year, you're never going to have that season that's going to allow you to have a number 1 pick. A top 5, top 10 pick. So that team, realistically, unless they get extremely lucky with draft, they're not even gonna improve crazy. And then who the hell wants to play in Buffalo? So free agency wise, I don't see them snagging up anybody either. Like, what's the best free agent they've ever gotten? LaShawn McCoy? Great running back, cool, but
it's been how long?
I think that's pretty much it.
It's now or never for Josh. And obviously when I say Josh, I also mean the Bills, but I mean, we're talking about legacy here. This means a lot more to Josh than ever. So that's why I'm going to ride with them. I don't think he can afford to lose this game, but who I think can afford to lose this game coming up is the San Francisco 49ers at the Eagles. I'm just going to say straight up, fuck the Eagles. I hate their fandom. I hate their team. I do think they're going to win this game, though. They just have such a weird thing about them. Their offense is complete dog shit. There's no other way around it. But, man, their defense. I mean, they held Buffalo to 13 points. Yeah, 12 points. Yeah, 12 points. You obviously held the Rams. Like, it's impressive, their wins this season against playoff teams. Their defense, whenever it's time to step up, they do. And honestly, until Jalen Hurts has a bad playoff performance, he's one of those people that deliver and step up in the playoffs as well. So I'm gonna ride with them, even though I think San Francisco is a legitimate team. You know, dealing with all those injuries and coming up the way they did is super impressive.
No, fuck the Eagles. I'm going for the Niners, man.
I'm going for the Niners.
Yeah. But I have more confidence in the Niners, especially coming out of the toughest division this year.
Yeah.
I think they're more battle tested, personally. And I think what they could do is maybe get that underdog mentality, because I think they could be considered the worst team in the NFC right now. I think they even are the last seed.
Well, I
So
mean, besides Carolina.
that's Carolina. Yeah, that's Carolina. I think they should get that underdog mentality that the Eagles had
In that
back the year they
2017
beat
run.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I think they should just run with it and prove everybody wrong. The one year that everybody was like, that's it, finally we're done dealing with the Niners. The two biggest obstacles are going to be Seattle and the Rams. And they're in your conference, so they're always tight games anyway, and you have beaten both of them. Mind you, earlier in the year instead of right now, but still, it doesn't matter. I think this team has nothing to lose, and sometimes that's the most dangerous team, the one that has nothing to lose.
Yeah, honestly, I don't disagree with you. I just think it's one of those things where, although I agree that San Francisco's more battle tested this year, Philly has done it before, and I think it's one of those things that experience in the playoffs and just recently as well, it can help a lot. So we'll see. I'm rooting for the 49ers there, but we're just going to hop into that next game. What we have is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the New England Patriots. This one should be a good one. Who do you got?
The Patriots. By blowout, too. I don't see this being close. That lack of offensive line due to injury.
Yep.
For this to be a close game, Herbert would have to have a Herculean performance. He's gonna have to throw for like 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and I don't see it with such a great coach team. Even then, one, the Patriots have a better team top to bottom, but two, even quarterback-wise, is Drake May that far behind them?
Especially this year. Yeah.
I don't know. I do think Herbert is the better quarterback of the two, but I just don't see how the Chargers could overcome this or even stay in the game past the halftime.
Normally, I would tend to agree with you because I do think the Patriots are the better team top to bottom, but it's very similar to Josh Allen. If not now, then when? You still haven't won a playoff game. We're still waiting for you to come in to the playoff and show that I am one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And I just think that this is going to be the year. I think for me, the Patriots are a well-coached team, but the thing that I think that gets understated on the defensive side of things and overstated on the offensive side of things. You have the Patriots that have had the easiest schedule by far. They've only beaten one playoff team, and that is the Bills. They've also lost to the Bills. On the offensive side, I have no doubts of Drake May, Stephon Diggs. I think they're really good on the offensive side of things. But on the defensive side of things, you did deal with the worst schedule. And now you're going to be playing one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I understand that the offensive line is, ass. But
shaky.
Ass. Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where I'm waiting for Justin Herbert to have a party. I just want finally a good game from him because the previous playoffs, he goes into the playoffs with very little interceptions and then he throws 3 or 4 and it's like, what the heck is going on? I would say the first one was a collapse on the entire team and bad coaching. The game where Jacksonville came back from that 21-point deficit. That I don't put on Herbert. I think that was just conservative play calling and just bad coaching in general. But the second one, that's on you. I mean, you threw 4 interceptions while only throwing 3 the whole year. There's no excuses. So this game, you better ball out. I think if Justin Herbert has a good game, that should be more than enough to beat this team. I don't trust their defense. I think they're well coached, but I think Justin Herbert can have a good game against this defense. And the Chargers defense is super underrated. So let's see what can happen. If Justin Herbert has a good game, I think they could win. If he doesn't, I think it's going to be riding a lot on him rather than the offensive line. I just don't trust the Patriots defense to get back there, to be honest with you. But we'll see. We got finally the game of the weekend. The game of the playoffs. The Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this game's gonna be a fucking blowout.
Nah.
No. This is probably gonna be the most boring game of the weekend. And to all the Ravens fans watching and saying you guys shouldn't have even gotten in. What time do you guys play this weekend? Just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
What time do you guys play? Oh, okay. Just want to make sure.
Where your coach at? What happened to your coach?
Yeah, no, it's bum ass team, but whatever. We move on to the playoffs, unlike you guys. But so let's talk a little bit about this game. I have some thoughts, but I'll let you go first.
We're looking at the number one defense in the Texans against a lackluster offense. I'm not too confident with Tomlin, and I'm just not too confident with this offense. Or the defense has been on and off randomly. That's the problem about Tomlin. The team is either super prepared, or it looks like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, so or they do stuff like you'll have your tight end catch 3 passes in a row, and then once you're at the goal line,
never passes him again.
You'll not pass it to him for 4 consecutive plays. Yeah. You know, that's the type of shit Tomlin does that it just, as a Steelers fan, pisses one off. You know? Yep. I'm not confident that he's gonna have the best game plan. So even though I don't like CJ Stroud, I think after his rookie year he has declined every single year.
Yep.
The defense is gonna carry him. They're gonna carry him to the next round. I would love for the Steelers to win, but I just really hope we make a coaching change pretty soon.
So to me, I think this game is gonna be really close. I think it's gonna come down to 1 or 2 plays. And
field goals.
Yeah, but I trust Rodgers more than I trust CJ Stroud. That's just kind of just what it boils down to, at least for me. I look at that Ravens game, and there's only one person that can escape those sacks, and that's Lamar Jackson. Anybody else that's a sack, especially CJ Stroud. I think the Houston Texans defense is just a tremendous unit. This is not going to be an easy game. I'm pretty sure every team in the playoffs is hoping that Pittsburgh eliminates the Houston Texans. But I think in terms of evenly matched, I think they're both really evenly matched. I think Cameron Hayward is coming off his best game as a Steeler. TJ Watt will get better as time progresses. Coming back from that lung injury, or that lung puncture, better said. And I just think that there's an underrated stat about Mike Tomlin, and he's 23-0 on Monday Night Football at home. So I'm gonna ride with that stat and hope for the best. I think this is gonna be a game that's gonna be super low scoring, and I think if I had to put a number or a score on it, I think I'd give 16-13 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's what it's gonna come down to.
I think it might be like a 10-14 game. I'm going Texans, but as a Steelers fan, you know what I mean, bro. Like, do you really trust Tomlin that much?
No. It's one of those,
especially against the number one defense. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's gonna be frustrating because I kind of already know what's gonna happen. We're gonna fall into an early lead, and then we're gonna make the game, interesting, quote unquote. In the second half, and then the game is closer than what it really was. But I just don't trust, this is the game that I'm going into the most confident because I don't trust their offense. I just don't. I don't trust CJ. I think Rodgers, I don't think Rodgers is going to make that many mistakes. That's just the way I feel about this game. And as much as I don't trust Mike Tomlin, I do trust Rodgers, and hopefully I'm proven right.
If it was a defense that was in the middle of the pack, I would, especially with CJ Stroud. But considering you have a really good defense, That's the other thing about the Steelers is, waiting for the third quarter to finally wake up
Get it
on
going.
both
Yeah.
sides of the field. Like, man, no, no.
But this is the team to not to do it against. I hope it doesn't fucking happen. I'd be pretty fucking livid if that does happen. But this is the team that doesn't have the firepower to put you down 21-0 in the first half, which has been a literal score going into halftime, within a couple of these playoff games. So I can see a 7-0 going into halftime, which I know is going to be boring, but I think that's something that we can come back from. I don't see coming back from 14-0. If it's a 2 touchdowns, then yeah, the Steelers lost. Because they're not going to be putting up that many points down 14-0 against that defense. They need to establish a lead early.
You know what would have made me more confident? If they would have kept George Pickens.
Oh, dude. I mean, I would bet the house on this game with Pittsburgh, even though I don't even trust Mike Tomlin. George Pickens and DK Metcalf, I wish we would have kept them, but...
There's one thing about it, though, like, I believe Rodgers might already be ready to retire, and he might view this game as, or just every game moving forward. This is it. If they win, it has to be because of that. It has to be Rodgers playing his ass off, because every game is his final game.
But that's what happens against the Ravens. I mean, against the Ravens, he came alive in the fourth quarter. Like, he just did. And you can tell, like, when it looked like the Ravens were going to take the lead to win the game, that kick, he was just in disbelief because he genuinely felt like he did everything. I don't think this is going to be a Rodgers coming into this playoffs like, if I don't win, at least I took him to the playoffs. I think he genuinely believes that he can win with this team. I'm not talking about the Super Bowl, but he feels like this team can do some damage. And the way he's playing, I think with DK Metcalf back, I don't know what the ceiling is for them. I know everybody wants the Steelers to beat the Texans. That way they don't have to face that vaunted defense. But if we win, I trust Rodgers more than I trust Drake May. I trust Rodgers more than I trust Bo Nix. The only one that scares me is obviously Josh. But this is an AFC that's wide open, honestly. If we're able to beat the Texans, I don't not like our chances to go to the Super Bowl, honestly.
But that's the other thing. I mean, I brought up the conversation about Mahomes, Burrow, and Lamar being out for Josh, but does Rodgers also feel that way? Does he also see that opening and think to himself,
yeah,
you know what? Even though maybe I'm not as respected as I was before, I'm still Aaron fucking Rodgers. And I'm going to double check all over that fucking field.
Yeah, and you're going to do the Super Mario jump, so... Yeah, I'm excited for this game. If the Texans win, I know it's going to be another devastating loss for the Steelers, and I doubt they fire Mike Tomlin because that's just the way they are. They don't fire head coaches. But in terms of how I felt more confident into a playoff round, I haven't felt this confident in a long time. Going into last year, I knew we were going to get beaten up by the Ravens, even though I have always said that we do beat the Ravens. But going in on a 5-game losing streak, going to Baltimore's house, I knew we were definitely going to lose that game. Same thing going against the Bills the previous year. Obviously going against the Chiefs back in 21, I believe. It's just those games I don't feel confident in because their offense is insane. And usually what Tomlin doesn't prepare is the defense. So to me, I like my chances against the CJ Stroud-led Texans. Now, their defense, top to bottom, scary. Easily the scariest defense. But I think as long as TJ, Alex Highsmith, Cameron Hayward, Joey Porter Jr. has not let up a touchdown this whole year, it's a good defense. It just gets torched, but they're opportunistic. They can take the ball away. So I wouldn't be surprised if we win pretty easily in this one. But obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose this game really badly either.
Oh man, which NFL pass rusher would you release in their prime? Miles, Vaughn, JJ, or Aaron?
Say the names again.
That's tough. It's Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, J.J. Watt.
I'm gonna get rid of Miles. I'm getting rid of Miles simply due to the fact.
God.
No. But it's not. It's legitimately not because it's a Browns thing. It's just Vaughn did it at the highest level. JJ is the only player to get 20 plus sacks in 2 seasons. And then who was the other one?
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald did it at the highest level too. Like, Von Miller is the obvious. There's no way you get rid of him. Aaron Donald is another one. That's no way you get rid of him. And it's between JJ. I mean, he's easily one of the best defensive tackles like ever. Like, he's top 3 defensive tackle ever. I know there's some people.
I think Vaughn would have been the one I cut out.
Brother, he single-handedly was the reason why they won the Super Bowl or got to the Super Bowl that year.
You're not giving enough credit to DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware went fucking ham.
No, he did, but come on. Didn't he win Super Bowl MVP?
He did. So, but I mean, Peyton played like fucking ass.
Yeah, but so somebody had to pick up the slack. Yeah, there's no way you get rid of Vaughn's prime, even though it was short-lived. Now, if you want to argue the longevity of the prime, that's a completely different argument. But right now, in terms of peak for peak, I think the best peak is JJ. I think that's clear because of the 2 years, 20 sacks thing, and the longevity. Had it not been for injuries, I would say it's JJ too, because we would have known. Longevity, I would say it's Aaron Donald and Miles. It's those two. But
the thing is, I feel like all 3 of these rushers are better also run stoppers.
Yeah, bro, but people were talking about the Broncos differently that year, and it was because of him too, you know? Like, it's kind of like a catch-22 in terms of, like, Miles is a generational player. It's not because I'm a Steelers fan. Legitimately, especially these past 2 years, he has shown that he is better than TJ, to put bias aside. But it's different doing it on, no offense to the Browns, but on a 4-win team than when you're consistently in important games. The Browns are in non-important games. So to me, that's why I give the edge to the other 3. JJ single-handedly took them to the playoffs.
But I feel like Miles is in the same position. You're in an ass team. Because the Texans are an ass team, my nigga.
But you're proving
I'm talking about
point.
The history of the franchise.
But you're proving my point. JJ did it. Miles didn't. And Miles has just as much help, if not more help, than JJ did.
But did what? The MVP
what do you
thing?
Mean bro.
Did what exactly?
He took him to the playoffs single-handedly.
Okay, I know I wouldn't kick out JJ. JJ's staying. And O'Donnell's staying too. I think it's between Vaughn and Miles. For me.
I mean, I would agree with you, but I'm just talking about in terms of, like, the general public's peak would be like, yo, that Von Miller season is honestly fucking nuts. But if we're going one season or if we're going like multiple seasons, yeah, I'd probably give the edge to Miles. I don't know, because if he didn't break the record this year, which I know is like a big if, like I don't like to do what ifs either. But if he didn't break the record this year, I don't know if he would be like a for sure Hall of Famer. Now breaking the record, he's a for sure Hall of Famer. Even if he didn't, like with the 22 sacks, he would have been there. But prior to this year, I don't think he would have been in that discussion just yet. He would have had to have this legendary year. But Vaughn for those 3 years in Denver, he's been a dog too. I don't know. It's tough.
I mean, I don't know, bro. It's because Miles has 125 sacks. Miles is gonna play next year, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Vaughn has 136.
But that's what I'm talking about. Miles' prime, like, has been longer, but I just feel like it's a different thing when you're playing a non-important games. Like, look at Harden, look at this guy from the Ravens, Jackson. Like, it's different when you're putting MVP numbers in regular season games than when you do it in the postseason. Like, that's one of TJ's biggest critique. He doesn't show up in the postseason. Like, he doesn't. So I just can't say like, oh, Miles is obviously better than Vaughn when he hasn't been in the position to be like, hey, you are better than Vaughn. Because I don't know if Miles is going to be this game wrecker in the postseason. I haven't seen it. I know Vaughn is. I know Aaron Donald is. I know JJ is the reason why they got into the playoffs. I just can't give that, oh, well, I'm just going to assume Miles is going to be a game wrecker in the playoffs, because I would have assumed the same thing of TJ. And not that he's been disappointing, but he's definitely not the beast that he is in the regular season. And that's just facts.
Gotcha. It's complicated. Because I feel like maybe if Miles was in a team that was competent enough to actually even be in the playoffs, maybe we would have gotten to see it. And then, you know.
But it's easy to say that, but the Browns defense was ranked number 1 pass defense, or one of the top 5 most pass defense, like best pass defense.
Yeah.
It's not like there's just a bunch of scrubs in Cleveland. Obviously, their offensive side of the ball is very, and their management
has always been shaky.
Yeah, dog shit. Not shaky.
Okay, yeah, what about Khalil Mack? Do you put Miles over Khalil?
Yeah.
Or still no? Okay.
Yeah, because Garrett can put a series of games together. Meanwhile, it always felt like Khalil would just have this 2 to 3 game stretch, which it was like he had 3 sacks in 3 games, 9 sacks in 3 games. And it's like, dude, this guy's going to break the sack record. And then he goes like, 7 games without getting a sack.
Yeah.
So he's streaky. I mean, when he's on his streak, I don't think there's a better pass rusher in NFL history, but...
No, yeah, Khalil was disgusting, bro.
Yeah, Khalil, when he got going, he got going. Yeah, I would give the I would give the edge to Miles in that regard, but I just can't just discredit Von Miller, because the same way you say like, oh, he's on a bad team, but he has dogs on defense, the same thing applies to Vaughn. He had dogs on defense and he shined. You just talked about DeMarcus Ware, but obviously the no-fly zone, like, he had dogs on defense and he was the one that stood out. I don't think that's easy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think it's easy to shine when you're on a dog shit team, but I mean, when you're the one shining in a team that's full of potential Hall of Famers, that's tough. All right, so that's gonna be our winners and losers going into Wild Card Weekend. Let us know what you think. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend, and if you think that we're batshit crazy with our picks, remember, we do not care. Leave your thoughts down below, and we'll see you next time. Peace.